lunch Saturday. The wind's blowing 20 out of the south. All the happy boaters are out right now. So we went to Southport. We got the bonus lunch, and it was good. I got to meet this kid Steve Sanko from the West Coast. Big time fan. Seemed like a real guy. Pretty sure that's his truck right there. Poor bastard got a yeah, that's his truck. You see his hat? Local Fishing. That's his brand. That's his name, Local Fishing. He's into that. Anyway, that's his truck. He got a Ranger. He's down here on the weekend. He's from here, and then he went to West Coast. But anyway, he was nice enough to introduce himself at lunch. Got a selfie with the guy, and now I get to see his truck. On Saturdays and Sundays, you don't see all the RTD stickers in here. These are the weekend people. The guys that are sporting the RTD stuff, those are weekday people. Those are people like actually are real salt lifers. This whole salt life thing is going to bite the real salt lifers right in the ass. Other than that, we're just down here checking out all the weekend warriors. Looks like fishing's been a little tough. Windy out there, nasty. And as you can see, all the weekend dudes sporting their trailers and their boats and everything. And these are the salt lifers. See that? Look at that. Those are real salt lifers right there. See, used to be like you were salt life without having a conscious effort of being salt life. But now, being salt life, like it's major effort, conscious effort to be salt life. And that's going to bite the original salt lifers right in the ass. I know that's like complicated and everything, but that's Captain Jeff getting philosophical on y'all. I'm down here on Fort Lauderdale Strip, checking out all the people, all the salt lifers. They're all down here today. I finally got a day off. Brilliant. Finally got a day off, and got my dog, went out to lunch, went down to Southport. We were totally checking everybody out. I'd say only 80% of the people down there at Southport are like consciously wondering how salt life they are or they are not. Which is a pretty good ratio considering most of the other places is like 90%. But if you're spending any time wondering how salt life you are or not, it's a major blunder. So let's talk about real salt life stuff. Y'all know Jim Hayes. Jim Hayes is my dog. If you don't know how I met Jim Hayes, I think it was 10 years ago or so, I did a fishing show with Bill Dance. And it was a big deal being on TV back in the old days. So we get on TV, and you're fishing with Bill Dance, and then at the end of the show, they put your phone number up for like 5 seconds. And everybody writes down the phone number and they call you. So when the show ended, you get like 30 calls, and they call to book the trips. And Jim Hayes was one of the first dudes that I ever booked from TV. And he took his buddies out with him years ago. And it's been like a decade now. Y'all been seeing him for decades. He gives more lunkers in everybody's face every time he comes down here, including this time. This time he came down for 2 weeks. He fished 6 days. I think he ended up with like 14 tarpon or something like that. Ridiculous. But dude, the guy comes down every year, runs the dog, and gets the big fish. I look forward to it. I can't wait till he comes. It's always sad when he leaves. But rest assured, one thing we will be doing, and we'll keep doing when Jim Hayes comes down here, and that's running the dog. Did you guys see them big fish homeboy caught this week? And last. He had his dog Richard with him. He was getting them. Richard took out his wife, and she got the big barracuda. Perfect fish for the lady. Everybody had a good time, including me. In order. First, it's the fish. Then, it's your clients. And you better love both of them, or you're not going to do what you possibly can do or potentially can do. Me and my dog Jim Hayes, catching fish for over a decade. He ain't the only one, but he does get consecutive lunkers, and been showing them to you guys for years, and that's what went on this week. I also had Ted in from South Carolina. Ted didn't have the big day out there. Day after the full moon, most of the fish clammed up. But got about 2 more weeks where it's just non-stop fishing. We'll get back at it again on Monday. We'll fish every day next week. We'll fish every day the following week. And then June's going to come in. We'll slow down a little bit. And start doing some big snook fishing. So Mike Consec, Captain Consec's, Michael Consecutive O'Gorman, crushing the big needlefish this week. Crushing the giant Atlantic barracuda this week. And putting his clients on snooks, tarpons, jacks, and barracuda this week. That's real guy doing real stuff right now all in your face. So we're real proud of O'Gorman. He's really doing good out there. It's consecutive lunkers. O'Gorman's getting consecutive lunkers like a gentleman. So we're real proud of O'Gorman right now. And him and I were just talking. Another week or two, it's going to get rainy out, it's going to get humid, and then we're going to be right into pre-pod action. That's right, pre-pod. For you fools that don't know what pre-pod is, or for those people that are just starting to catch on to some of our videos and start to follow, pre-pod is at the end of the spring, beginning of the summer. The small little baits come in. The whole beach will be covered with them. And that's when you catch your small snook, your small tarpon, jacks, all the little stuff. That's pre-pod. That's why we came out with the pre-pod fishing rod. Go to my site, Lunkerdog.com. I got a few different rods that you can buy. And now is the time to get ready and prepare for pre-pod. Now what you're going to need for pre-pod is you're going to need a light tackle reel, a 4,000 or even a 2,000. You're going to need the pre-pod rod. Get that on Lunkerdog.com. Order your pre-pod rod. You're going to need 10, 20, 30-pound fluorocarbon. You're going to need 1s to 1/0 circle hook. Sabiki rigs. The cast net you're going to use now is going to change from being like 5-6 inch mesh all the way down 3/16, people. You got to get the right net for pre-pod. You got to have the right rod for pre-pod. And now is the time to get ready for pre-pod. You don't get ready for pre-pod during pre-pod. Like the rods I'm using now, the Hog Leg Series rods, that's for the big fish. That's for the big tarpon. That's for something you can really use a hog leg with. Then you got the soul shrimping rod. That's for fishing the big shrimps under the bridges and stuff. And then you got the pre-pod. Pre-pod happens during the summer. We're at the beginning of May now, so get ready. Get your pre-pod rod, get you the right net, get your 5-gallon bucket. And that'll warm you up for happy bait, because happy bait will be coming at the end of the summer. But if you're not pre-podding before happy baiting, that's like showing up the football out of shape. Can't do that. And if you do, you'll see it in the results of your fishing. You got to be ready. You got to be in shape. You got to be on them. And it's almost pre-pod. So get your pre-pod rod. Enjoy yourself. And remember, run that dog with Captain Jeff. Run that dog.